We are not here to give you obeisance. We are not here to give you obedience. We are not here to submit to you. We are here as equal members of this House, Mr. President, Mr. Former President. You are now a private citizen.
Is Congressman Benny Abante, the chairman of the Committee on Human Rights. You are now recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Dahilan sa Tagalog po ang inyong opening remarks. Hayaan po niyo ko na mag-English naman. Sapagkat mayroong isang abogado dito, ininsulto ang isang member ng Quadcom na hindi raw marunong mag-English. Gusto ko pong sabihin sa abogadong yan na ako po ay marunong mag-English. Baka mas marunong pa ako sa kanya mag-English. Ito po ang opening remarks ko sa ating Senior Deputy Speaker, sa ating Deputy Speaker, sa aking mga co-chairs, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, at mga kababayan. Today marks a significant development in our ongoing inquiry. Gusto ko yung abogado natin na nang insulto dito sa isang member natin dito, makinig na mabuti at i-correct niya ang English ko kung kinakailangan. For the first time, former President Rodrigo Duterte will appear before this committee to answer questions posed by his members. I would like to begin by thanking him for his presence. Thank you, Mr. President, for coming here. Rest assured po that Congress recognizes your role as our former president, and we will extend to you the respect that the position deserves. Maraming salamat po. Respect, but not deference, Mr. Chairman. However, my friends, colleagues, let me draw a clear line here. While we should be respectful, we cannot be differential. Mga kababayan, watching today with us, it is important to stress that respect and deference are two different things. It is vital that we, as representatives of the people, remember that distinction, because our ultimate allegiance is not to any one individual, no matter how high their office. We answer to a power greater than any president. We answer to the Filipino people and to God. As Scripture reminds us in Romans 10:3, and I quote, "Since they did not know the righteousness of God and sought to establish their own, they did not submit to God's righteousness." Our fidelity belongs to the Lord alone. Our mission is to seek the truth, and we shall not be swayed from that path. As we have said time and time again, we have organized this inquiry with a solemn purpose to recommend avenues for justice to be served, seek accountability, and uncover the truth as we adhere to the rules of inquiries in aid of legislation. And inherent to this is our moral obligation to stop the vicious cycle of extrajudicial against our people who cannot defend themselves, to stop the blatant violations of our Constitution and our laws by scheming individuals and criminal syndicates, and to abate the social menace of illegal. It is our sincere hope that the former president's presence here today will aid this objective, not hinder it. Today, we ask everyone here, including the former president, to speak openly and honestly, as this inquiry's goal is not to cast blame for its own sake, but to serve the cause of justice. Mr. Chairman, marahil po, hindi na ako nakikilala ng ating former president. Magpapakilala po muli ako. Mr. President, ako po si Bishop Benny Abante, ang Pangulo ng Bible Mode, Bible Believers League for Morality and Democracy, na mayroong 6,000 churches sa buong mundo. Kung naalala nyo, Mr. President, bago kayo tumakbo and you were still deciding to run, I was invited by a common friend to meet with you. And we did at the Fairmont Hotel in Makati. I hope that you would remember that. With me are two pastors. And we prayed together. I prayed for you, asking the Lord to give you the right decision to run for the presidency. I do not know you from Adam, Mr. President. But I believe in your cause. I believe in your plan. And because of this, Mr. President, I work hard to campaign for you. Many of the pastors of the Baptist community voted for you. Gusto ko pong marinig ito ng mga DDS trolls at DDS vloggers na tumitira sa amin at sinisira ang aking reputasyon. Gusto kong sabihin sa kanila, ilang boto ba ang ibinigay nyo kay former President? Ako po, Mr. President, libu-libong boto ang binigay namin sa inyo. Nagpasalamat ba kayo sa akin? Hindi. Nilapitan niyo po ba ako? Hindi. Mabuti pa, Senator Bongo, Mr. President, nagpunta sa aking simbahan at nagpasalamat sapagkat sinuportahan namin kayo at siya, Mr. President. Now, gusto kong sabihin po dito sa Quadcom na ito, ako ba'y lumapit sa inyo para humingi ng pabor? Hindi po. Ako ba'y lumapit sa inyo para magrekomenda ng justice, magrekomenda ng general, magrekomenda ng cabinet secretary? Hindi po. Hindi ako nagpunta ng Malacanang nung kayo nanunungkulan sa loob ng 6 na taon. Isang beses lang. Ako po ay nagsabi kay Senator Bongo, kung maaari na makapag-usap po tayo. Pumayag po siya. At nag-usap po tayo, if you would remember that, Mr. President. Nag-usap tayo confidentially. Ano pong ginawa ko? Binuksan ko po ang Biblia. Ipinakita ko sa inyo na walang ibang tagapagligtas kundi ang Panginoong Kristo. Ipinakita ko sa inyo ang maaaring magbago ng buhay natin, walang iba kundi ang ating Panginoon. Sinabi ko sa inyo ang nakalagay sa John 3:16, for God so loved the world, that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Binantayan ko ang inyong panunungkulan. Nakita ko na maganda ang plano nyo. Nakita ko po, Mr. Chair, na ayaw ng Pangulo na itong bansang Pilipinas mahulog sa kamay ng mga lords at traffickers. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Nagsimula kayo ng war on kami mga kapastoran, believe po sa inyo, sa inyong ginawa. Sabi nyo, 6 months lang, kaya nyong tapusin ang war on na ito. Inabot po kayo ng 6 na taon. Hanggang ngayon, meron po tayong war on. Hindi po namin nakalain, Mr. President, na sa war on na yan, mamamatay ang more than 30,000, Mr. President. Hindi ko akalain na more than 7,000 na mga pushers ang mamamatay sa kamay ng mga kapulisan at sa kamay ng mga riding in tandem. At sinabi po ng ating ibang kapulisan, at gusto kong sabihin, hindi po lahat ng kapulisan, sapagkat ang karamihan po ng ating kapulisan, mga mabuting tao, at nais protektahan ang bansang ito. Pero, ang ilang mga pulis ay po. At dito nag-testify ang ilan na merong reward system na inyong itinanggi nung kayo ay nag-testify under oath doon sa Senado. Ngayon po, bilang bishop po ng Bible Mode, hindi ko akalain na kinakailangan tayo na more than 30,000 people para masugpo po ang sa atin. Aba, Mr. Chair, talo pa natin ang Mexico. Sapagkat ng Mexico, nakita ko wala pang 10,000 namatay. Talo pa natin ng Colombia. Naging feels po ang Pilipinas nung panahon ninyo, nung kayo nanunungkulan. Naniniwala po kami na dapat hindi manatili ang dito sa ating lipunan. Subalit, hindi po ako naniniwala na dapat tayong ng more than 30,000 people. Dahilan dito. Ay, si Kian Alejandro. Anong kasalanan niya? Ay, ang isang 3-year-old na bata na nahagip ng stray bullet dahilan sa isang drug pusher. Ang 9-year-old na bata doon sa Caloocan, Mr. President, Mr. Chair, ang kanyang bala ay nandun pa sa kanyang katawan nung siya'y nilibing. Subalit anong sabi ng funeral service? Siya po'y namatay dahil sa pneumonia. Ay po ang isang driver ng tricycle driver sapagkat sinakay niya ang isang drug pusher. Yung drug pusher pero yung driver ng tricycle din, Mr. President. Hindi niyo po alam to. Ngayon, meron pong isa dahil sa tokhang kumatok sa isang pintuan, hinanap ang isang taong nagngangalampilo na isang pusher. Hindi nakita. Ay, yung pinagtanungan, yung pilo, buhay pa, Mr. President, Mr. Chair. At naglalako pa, palagay ko, ng ngayon. Hindi ko po maintindihan to. Hindi ko po maunawaan kung bakit ganon. Samantalang sinuportahan kayo ng maraming pastor ng Baptist community. Ang ilang mga kapastoran po nandito at ilang mga pastor namin nanonood ngayon at pinapakinggan ang aking tinig, Mr. Chair. Ako po ay binabas araw-araw ng mga bashers ng DDS troll, ng DDS vloggers. Minumura itong taong ito. Sinisira ang aking reputasyon. Minumura po ako ng katulad ng inyong pagmumura, Mr. President. Hindi ko akalain kung bakit gagawin nila yan. Ang tanong ko, ilang boto ba ang ibinigay ng mga DDS vloggers sa inyo? Gusto kong sabihin sa inyo, I can testify on this, na libu-libong boto ang nakuha nyo sa Baptist community at hindi ako humiling ng anumang pabor sa inyo, Mr. President. In fact, kung naalala nyo, Mr. President, sinabi ko kay Senator Bongo na nais kitang imbitahan sa aming selebrasyon ng National Baptist Day, Mr. President. Diendo ko lang po yung pakikipag-usap na ito ni Delga sa ating presidente para po makapakinig po sa akin ng tama. Inimbitahan ko kayo. Nagpunta ho kayo, Mr. President. Doon po sa SMX, nakita nyo ang 7,000 na mga Baptist leaders na nakinig po sa inyo. Sa inyong speech, Mr. President. Oo. Doon po sa speech ninyo, sa harapan po ng mga bishop at ng mga pastor, nagmumura kayo. Pinagbigyan po namin kayo. Kahit na hindi maganda sa amin makarinig ng mura, pinagbigyan po namin kayo dahil kayo ang Pangulo at dapat namin kayong irespeto, Mr. President. Andito ho ako, nakaupo sa harapan nyo. Nagpapasalamat sa pagkakataong ito na masabi ko ng buong katapatan sa inyo ang ginawa ng more than 6,000 na mga kapastoran ng Bible Mode para sa inyong eleksyon bilang Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Nung akin pong nag-file ako ng bill, Mr. President, yung pong tinatawag nating Republic Act 11897, an act declaring the second Thursday of January of every year as special working holiday to be known as National Baptist Day. Sinuportahan po ito ng lahat ng mga congressman. Sinuportahan po ito ng lahat ng mga senador. Okay. At nilagay po sa inyong opisina. Pinirmahan nyo ba ang bill na yan? Hindi po. Naging batas yan because it lapsed into law after 30 days. Pero, okay lang po sa amin yun. Okay lang po sa amin yun. Yun na lang siguro ang maaaring pasalamat ninyo, Mr. President, sa amin. Bilang pagboto namin sa inyo ng mga libo-libo mga Baptist leaders at Baptist members sa buong kapuluan. Hanggang ngayon, nirerespeto po kayo ng aming kapastoran. Hanggang ngayon, pati yung kapastoran po namin sa Mindanao, ginagalang kayo. Marami kami pastor sa Davao na ginagalang po kayo. Bakit po? Sapagkat kayo ay naging Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Ang kahilingan lang po namin dito, Mr. President, habang kayo po ay kinakausap namin ngayong umaga, ang kahilingan lang po namin dito ay sana po naman respetuhin po ninyo ang Quadcom hearing na ito sa pamamagitan ng hindi paggamit ng mga vulgar words, Mr. President. Sapagkat gusto kong sabihin sa inyo bilang warning na kapag kayo po ay nagmura sa Quadcom hearing na ito, I will make a point of order on you. Meron po akong batayan na batas sa tinatawag po nating disturbance of proceedings. Gusto kong basahin doon po sa Psalms 109, 17 to 18 and 28. Hindi ko alam kung naniniwala kayo sa Diyos. Hindi ko alam kung naniniwala kayo sa Biblia. Samantalang sa isang pagkakataon, tinawag niyo ang Diyos na stupid, Mr. President. Tinanggap po namin yan sapagkat kayo Pangulo. Oo. At nagpapasalamat ako. Hanggang ngayon po, buhay pa kayo. Kahit na po tinawag niyo ang Diyos na isang estupido, Diyos. Oo. Hindi ko alam kung katanggap-tanggap yan sa lahat na mga nakikinig sa akin ngayong umaga. Pero ito po, gusto kong basahin sa inyo bilang isa rin namang warning. Sa wikang Tagalog, babasahin ko. Sapagkat iniisip niya, ang manumpa, ang magsabi ng masama, kaya darating niyaon sa kanya, sapagkat hindi siya nalugod sa pagpapala, kaya't malayo yaon sa kanya. Dahil binihisan niya ang sarili niya ng pagsabi ng masama o pagsumpa na gaya ng kanyang sariling damit, yaoy papasok sa kanyang kalooban na gaya ng tubig at gaya ng langit sa kanyang mga buto. Hayaang sumumpa sila. Hayaang sila ay magmura. Ngunit magpala ka. Ang kahilingan po namin ngayon, Mr. President, sana po, imbis na mura ang marinig namin sa inyo, sana po, bigyan nyo kami ng pagpapala sa Quadcom na ito. Sapagkat hindi personalidad ang tinutukoy namin dito. Ang tinutukoy po natin ito, issue na kinakailangan po natin tuldukan sapagkat ito po'y kailangan ng ating bayan. Kapag sila'y bumangon, sila'y mapapahiya. Ngunit ang iyong lingkod ay magagalak. Yan po ang sinabi sa Salmo, Mr. Chair, Mr. President. Salamat po sapagkat hinayaan niyo ako na magsabi sa inyo ng buong katapatan na walang halong anumang pagkukunwari, Mr. President. Ginagalang ko pa rin po kayo. Hindi po dahilan ay kayo, kundi dahilan sa minsan naging Pangulo kayo ng Pilipinas. Kaya nga po ang aking opening remarks is what? Respect, not deference. We are not here to give you obeisance. We are not here to give you obedience. We are not here to submit to you. We are here as equal members of this House, Mr. President, Mr. Former President. You are now a private citizen. And I hope and pray that you would give us equal respect as we give you equal respect today. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Abante. The next to deliver his opening remarks is Congressman Stephen Caraps Paduano, the Chair of the Committee on Public Accounts. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. As mentioned in the opening statement of the Chairman Barbers, today's hearing was originally scheduled to be postponed and moved to November 21, 2024. However, when the news emerged that the former President will be attending, and after we verified announcements confirming his desire to attend the hearing, the Quad Committee decided to convene on short notice. This will allow us to hear directly from the former President and to address questions regarding the issue of extrajudicial killings. We have no guarantee that the former president will attend future hearings or fully participate in this investigation. Since he committed to be being here today, we couldn't let this opportunity to pass. As we continue our hearing, I wish to reaffirm the Quad Committee's commitment to a thorough, transparent, and accountable examination of the issues before us. Proceeding with today's hearing underscores our dedication to a fair and open inquiry, one that seeks truth and clarity rather than distraction or delay. Our work here is not a matter of posturing, but of responsibility to the law, to the people, and to those impacted by our actions. If this hearing will be used as a platform to score propaganda points, then we should not waste the public's time. This is not the place for shallow tactics or personal agendas. Our purpose here is serious and clear. We are here to listen, to ask critical questions, and to closely examine the policies and decisions that have shaped the nation. I hope the former president shared this enthusiasm and the discussions do not devolve into empty rhetoric aimed at evading the truth. With that in mind, let us strive to make this hearing meaningful, productive, and focused on uncovering the truth. Let us honor the public's trust, ensuring that this session is conducted with integrity and purpose. Marami pong salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, Congressman Dan Fernandez. You are recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. Inurasan ko po kayo, Mr. Chairman. 10 minutes po yung opening remarks. Si Chairman Paduano, 5 minutes. Si Chairman Abante, 30 minutes po ang kanyang inubos. At sa totoo lang po, wala na pong tayong oras. At siyempre po, we have to consider also the health of the former president. And I think I will not be delivering any opening remarks. And I will be asking na lang po siguro yung ating pong technician to present a video clip, and that will form part of my opening remarks, Mr. Chair. And advice lamang po kay sa ating chairman, huwag mo masyadong seryoso yun yung mga bashers mo. As a matter of fact, madami po talaga mga bashers, pero alam mo, mga troll farms yan eh. At huwag na lang po nating intindihin. Kung ayaw mo masaktan, no, edi huwag kang magbasa. I think we all know na marami po talaga itong mga troll farms. At yan naman po talagang ginagamit na taktika against us all. But at any rate, Mr. Chairman, ito pong bidyong ito na ginawa po ng ating pong Quad Committee ay will be formed part of the committee.
Before that, Congressman Fernandez, how many minutes is that video?
Siguro mga ano po yan. Kung meron kang 10 minutes, meron siyang 30 minutes, meron siyang 5 minutes, 7 minutes po yan, Mr. Chairman. So,
just make sure it is a short presentation.
It's a short
Your
presentation,
Honor.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, salamat po. Sige.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Congressman
gusto ko
Abante.
lang pong sagutin yung sinabi ni Congressman Fernandez.
You have 2 minutes.
Alam mo talagang marami, pero hindi ko binabasa yan. Hindi ko inaalala yan. Gusto ko lang sabihin sa DDS Troll at DDS Vloggers, ilang boto ba ang ibinigay nyo sa former president sa botong ibinigay ng Baptist community sa kanya? Yun lang po ang tanong ko.
Thank you, Congressman Abante. You have made your point in your opening statement. So we will now proceed. Instead of delivering an opening remarks, you said you're going to show a clip. Is that correct, Your Honor?
Yes, this was created by the Quad Committee, by all the members. So let us present this video.
Okay, please, the technical group, can you please play the clip? Hearing is resumed. So, Comsec, is it ready? Kung hindi ready, we will proceed with the next agenda. Is it ready? Okay. So technical, please play the clip.
Si I prefer the them. Kaya may order ko rin sa dyan. Walang pakialam dyan sa human rights. I don't give a shit kung anong gusto nilang sabihin. About 3 of them, because there were 3 of them. I didn't really know how many bullets from my gun went to inside their bodies, but it happened. Si them dead. I prefer the them in the heart or in the head. If you insist on a war, I will you.
8 bisis siya ng tao, tagang parang masaya siya basta may namatay na tao. Yan ang habit niya.
Kasi yung tay ko medyo nag-ano rin yun. May galit rin yun sila sa akin.
Ang nasamahan ko dyan yung sa paglilibing, siguro mga 300 plus katao yung nalibing ko.
Until the last pusher is out of the streets. Until the last blue killed. Talagang tayo kita.
The whole Davao Death Squad network was used as Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte's personal masyan.
Kakinurap mo yan kung sinong sunduin kita ng helicopter papuntang Manila, tatapon kita sila.
They took advantage of our blind loyalty to him and our greed for money to promote and protect his personal and political interests.
I will assume full legal responsibility. Kaya ang human rights, ako ang magharap niyan, hindi naman kayo.
All of our targets went based solely on the intel information and orders given by Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte himself.
Ang kasalanan ko lang, yung mga extrajudicial thing.
It's not a dog, my son. It's not a dog or a pig to like them.
Siya ang pinaka-protector ng mga lord dito sa Pilipinas. Basic example niyan is si Michael Yang at si Alan Lim.
Sinasabi ko, I can clean it in 6 months. And after that, I realized na nagkamali talaga ako. Kaya siya ang pinaka-lord of all the lord.
Okay, sige po. Salamat. So, we will now proceed with the next agenda. May we recognize Congressman Acop, our Vice Chair, to please discuss the ground rules for today's committee hearing. You are recognized, Congressman Acop.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just like to repeat the rules applicable insofar as our hearing is concerned. Only the microphone of the lead chairperson or presiding officer shall be on unmute mode at the start of the meeting. During the period of interpellation, resource persons shall be given 5 minutes each to state their position or make a presentation in the meeting. Resource persons shall not be allowed to speak or make interjections unless and until they are recognized by the lead chairperson or the presiding officer. Committee members and other House members who want to make statements or ask questions to resource persons shall register with the committee secretary of the lead committee and shall be recognized by the lead chairperson or the presiding officer on a first to register basis. Members shall be given 10 minutes each for their interpellation, excluding the answers of the resource persons. No member except the lead chairperson or the presiding officer shall be allowed to speak or make interjections during the course of the interpellation of a member unless and until recognized by the lead chairperson or the presiding officer. Any question addressed to the joint committee shall be presented to the committees separately, and the decision of the joint committee shall be the majority vote of the 4 committees. Now, insofar as the role of councils is concerned, the councils, Mr. Chair, should see to it that they should present their appearance to the Quad Committee if there are councils present, and the participation of counsel for the witness during the hearing and while the witness is testifying shall only be limited to advising on the legal rights of the said witness or resource person. Counsel for a witness or resource person shall conduct oneself in a professional manner and shall observe proper decorum. Otherwise, upon a majority vote of the members present, there being a quorum, such counsel shall be subject to contempt or to such other disciplinary action that may include censure and removal from the room where the hearing is being conducted. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Akop. Now, the next part of the agenda is the discussion or deliberation on our administrative matters. Do we have administrative matters that we will dispose of, Chairman Paduano?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have at least important 2 admin matters to be discussed. The first is the letter coming from the Mercado and Associates Law Office, representing as counsel of Police Colonel Hector Grijaldo, and was signed by Attorney J. Mercado, managing partner. Mr. Chairman, with regards to the show cause order regarding 07 November 2024 joint committee hearing, with this, Mr. Chairman, I move that we defer discussion on this letter to expedite discussion today's hearing, Mr. Chairman.
Did I get it right? Is there a motion to defer?
Yeah, to defer and discuss this matter on later part of the hearing.
There is a motion to defer discussion on the letter sent to the Quad Committee by the counsel of Colonel Grijaldo. Duly seconded. Are there any objections? Is that an objection? Any objections? Hearing none, a motion is approved.
Second, Mr. Chairman, is the letters that was sent to us during the previous hearing by Attorney Delgra, representing as counsel the former president. And with that, Mr. Chairman, before I discuss this admin matter, may I ask Attorney Delgra, are you the counsel of the former president or a witness or a resource person at today's hearing? Because I do believe that you have received the postponement. I do believe that you have. Attorney Delgra, please listen. I do believe that you have received the postponement invitation for you.
If I may?
Did you receive the invitation?
We did, Your Honor.
Then you also received the postponement.
We did, Your Honor.
So now, let me ask you, are you counsel of the former president now, today?
I come here both as counsel of the former president as well as a resource person because I received a letter of invitation to appear before this committee
So
to explain
both,
the circumstances of the 2 letters that we sent to this committee. I suppose that was the premise of the Quads Committee's invitation to me to appear.
That is correct. If I may, Your Honor, we have invited Attorney Delgra as our resource person because during the last hearing, there was a motion from Congressman Adyong to invite him, Congressman Flores and Congressman Adjong, to invite Attorney Delgra to discuss the contents of the letter he sent in behalf of the former president. And that is the reason why we sent an invite to Attorney Delgra, Your Honor. And at the same time, he is likewise appearing today as the counsel to the former president. He is also a resource person.
Mr. Chairman, I think the reason why we invited Attorney Delgra was to enter his appearance as a counsel, and we never invited him as a resource person.
We will ask Attorney Delgra to enter his
Can we check
appearance.
the letter that we have?
Your Honors, if I may, we will ask the lawyers and the invited resource persons to appearing in behalf of the former president today as his counsel to enter their appearance before the Quad Committee. And we will get to that later on after we dispose of the administrative matters that we have at the moment. So, Congressman Paduano.
So with that, Mr. Chairman, discussion with regards to admin matters on the letter sent to us by Attorney Delgra, since he's also a resource person, we will discuss this during the turn of Attorney Delgra, Mr. Chairman. But before we proceed, Mr. Chairman, let me ask lang po, on record, for the record lang po, for the former president, do you confirm, sir, that we received a letter coming from you, signed by you, granting authority to Attorney Delgra as your counsel? Just for the record po.
Your Honor, you are correct.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Former President, that's only my question.
We're talking about lawyers. I have two additional lawyers.
Okay.
Attorney Belio and Attorney Panelo.
So let them have their entry.
So that
if they will recognize with the chairman. Thank you, Mr. President, for that answer. Thank you po.
We will now ask the lawyers of the former president to enter their appearance before the Quad Committee before we proceed with the committee proper. Attorney Delgra and Attorney Panelo, please enter your appearance. Attorney Delgra. And
Your Honors, entering my appearance as counsel for former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Your Honor.
okay, thank you.
Good morning, Your Honors. Respectfully appearing as counsel for the former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Panelo. Please proceed, Congressman Paduano.
Mr. Chairman, since Attorney Delgra is also a resource person, so I will just ask the admin matters during the turn of Attorney Delgra.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. Now, we would like to ask our resource persons to please take their oaths before we proceed with the committee proper. I have here a list of the names of the members who wish to propound questions later on to our resource persons. So, but before that, may we ask our resource persons to please take their oath before the committee. COMSEC, please administer the oath.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All those resource persons who are attending this hearing for the first time. So, we would like to request the former president to please stand, and Attorney Delgra and nanays who are here. Hindi pa kayo naka-oath na. Yung hindi pa naka-oath.
Yung pong hindi pa po nakakapag-oath, pwede pong tumayo tayo at mag-oath po tayo. COMSEC, please proceed.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this congressional inquiry, so God may help you? They said in the affirmative, sir. The oath has been administered.
Thank you very much to our resource persons. Thank you very much, Comsec. Now we will proceed now with the interpellations. I have here a list of names of the members who wish to ask questions. The first to follow the tradition of the House, where we give the first crack of asking questions, is from the member of the minority. Congressman Arlene Brosas, you are now recognized. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Mr. Chair, first of all, siguro i-reiterate ko lang yung kaninang sinabi ni Chairman Benny Abante na we would like to remind na wala sanang mga
Excuse
salita.
me, Congressman Brosas, I'm sorry. This is a oversight on my part. Meron pa hong nasa agenda. I am really, really sorry, Congressman Brosas. We have invited members from, what group is this, DSJJ? May I have the list of the names? So, bigyan po namin kayo ng pagkakataon na magsalita, pero 2 minuto lamang po. Kung maaari, iksian nyo po kasi po ayaw po nating tumagal bago po tayo mag-proceed sa ating pagtatanong. So the first, who's going to be recognized first? Okay. Opo. So we first recognize Father Flavi Villanueva. You have 2 minutes, Father, kung maaari po.
Yes. Magandang umaga, Chair. Magandang umaga po sa lahat dito. Ako po ay si Father Flavi L. Villanueva, SVD. Isang pare na nakakita, nakasaksi, at patuloy na kumakalinga at naghahandog ng paghilom sa mga balo ulila na biniktima ng war on noong nagdaang administrasyon. At dito ay nakita ko ang kawalan ng katarungan, kawalan ng sistema, at higit sa lahat, ang karumal-dumal na pagpapay sa mga nasalaylayan. Aldrin Pineda, 13 years old. Bakit ako ni Omar? Si Omar ay isang pulis sa Tondo. Micah Alpina, pangarap ko maging pulis. Pero pulis din ang sa kanya. 3 taong gulang. Erwin, 29 years old. Ipagluluto kita ng pansit. Bibili lang ako. Pagbalik ko, pagdiriwang natin ang kaarawan mo. Hindi na siya bumalik. At 6 na bala ang tumoda sa kanya. Naka-civilian, pero kompleto sa battle gear. Si Berto, ganun din. Ang huli niyang wika, papasada lang ako ng tricycle. Pagbalik ko, pagdiriwang natin ang birthday mo, mahal. Civilian ng p***ay, pero tinago, bago ang bungo. Kung nagkaroon ng kawalan ng sistema sa pag-imbestiga, nagkaroon ng sistemang pag-p***ay sa kanila. Mahigit 200 ang kasama ko sa baba. Lahat sila may kwento. Lahat sila nawalan. At ang nawala sa kanya ay ang mga taong bumubuhay sa kanila. Katulad doon na sabi ko sa Quadcom, bago ko ibigay yung microphone sa mga kasamahan kong naririto sa pangunguna ni Randy De Los Santos, na siyang kumakatawan sa program Paghilom at susunod magsasalita. Sabi ko sa Senado, kung mayroong sistemang pinagmamalaki, kung mayroong baril na ginamit ang mga nanlaban at tunay na nanlaban sila, then, Mr. Chair, let it be. Let it happen today. Let it happen in this Quadcom. Let us call the directors of operations and ask ilang baril ang naroroon sa kasalukuyan. Then we would know kung ilan po ang tunay na nanlaban, kung meron talaga nanlalaban. Those firearms would have corresponding reports attached to them. It should have. Then we would know the real reason, if it's a myth, kung gawa-gawa o totoo. But because what we know is that what happened in Davao simply was replicated nationwide. I will park for the moment and allow the victims that I'm with to speak, beginning with Mr. Randy De Los Santos, the uncle of Kian De Los Santos.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Father Flavi. Thank you for cooperating. Sa lahat po ng tatawagin namin, pwede pong maiksi lamang po, ha? The next is Attorney Cristina Conti, NUPL NCR. You have 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, Your Honors, we are here as lawyers, advocates, and supporters of victims of extrajudicial killings during the time of President Rodrigo Duterte. We charge him as liable for crimes, the most heinous of which would be crimes against humanity in the acts of murder and other inhumane acts. And these acts would include illegal and wanton arrests and detention, harassment, violations of the right against self-incrimination, and most critically, violation of the right against due process. He is liable under the principle of command responsibility as the most senior leader, as the commander and the superior authority over police and other state security forces. He is liable for conspiracy because of the institution of a state policy to neutralize, negate, whomever he identified as so-called quote-unquote enemies of the state under the guise of anti-criminality and anti-insurgency campaigns. He is liable as a principal by inducement or a principal by indispensable cooperation, having ensured that these and these crimes are committed with horrifying impunity. Your Honor, kasama ko po ngayon ang mga parang sinakluban ng langit at lupa noong panahon na yon. Pero ililinaw po namin na hindi po kami sasama, hindi po namin susundin yung imbitasyon ni Presidente Duterte na sumama sa kanya sa impyerno. Dito lang po kami sa mundong ibabaw para po ipaglaban ang katarungan. Your Honor,
please avoid
yes, Your Honor.
Taunting. Whatever, for lack of a better word, iwasan po natin yon.
Yes,
Kasi
Your
po,
Honor.
tayo po ay mga professional dito at gusto po natin na sana maging matiwasay yung ating pagpapakonduct ng hearing na ito. I hope you understand.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm just echoing statements from the Senate hearing, Your Honor. But anyway, ang para po sa amin, wala pong kapatawaran kung walang katarungan at walang katarungan kung walang katotohanan. Kaya ito pong pagkakataon na ito ay para po malaman kung bakit ang quote-unquote war on gera laban sa naging ang mahihirap. Kung bakit, akala ko ba ubusan ng nangyari po, parang meron pa palang protector ng mga na nasa posisyon. At nandito po ang ating mga biktima para isalang po sa ating pong komite at sa investigasyong ito kung ano nga ba ang tunay na nangyari at kung sino ba ang dapat managot. Maraming salamat po, Mr.
Salamat
Chair.
po. Salamat po, Attorney Conti. Ang susunod po na magsasalita ay si Miss Christine Pascual. 2 minuto lamang po, Mrs. Kung maaari.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Christine Pascual, ang nanay po ni Joshua Lacsamana po. Na nangarap lang po na isang maging gamer at napagsabay naman niya po yung pag-aaral at ang kanyang kahiligan. Natanong ko lang po kasi sa aming mga nanay, kung hindi rin po, sana po, naging batas ni Mr. President po ang pag na walang makukulong. Sana po wala pong maraming na ganitong inosente mga bata po. At lalo din po kami nasaktan ng kalooban nung time pong nalaman namin na may reward. Parang ganun lang po, napaglaruan yung buhay ng mga mahal namin sa buhay. Kaya, kay biro man po o hindi, ang nasabi niya pong batas niya, hindi rin po maganda sa aming kamukha namin mga mahihirap. Kaya lang po, lumalakas din ang loob namin. Ito na lang po yung paraan sa kamukha namin mga mahihirap, kung paano po manawagan sa inyo at buksan po ang puso nyo. Na hindi po biro ang hanggang ngayon ang nararamdaman namin. Nagmahal lang po kami ng mga pamilya namin. Kaya ganito po kami lumalaban. Hindi sana magkakaroon ng ganitong maraming namatay ko. Na disiplina po agad ang ginawang batas po ng ating presidente. Salamat po.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Mrs. Ang sunod po ay si Miss Lore Paslo. Lore Paslo po.
Pasko po.
Lore Pasco, may 2 minuto po kayo, ma'am.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Ako po si Lore Pasco. Nanay po ako ng 2 anak ko na pinaslang. Ano po yan? May 2017. Ito po ay isang security guard at ito naman po ay binata. Ang masakit po ay 4 po yung naiwan. Mahirap po sa amin talaga na hanggang ngayon po ay walang hustisya dahil po wala talaga pong masusing investigasyon para doon po sa mga pinaslang. Kaya nagpapasalamat po kami sa ganitong pagkakataon dito po sa binigay sa amin sa Quadcom na makadalo para po maipahayag namin ang kung anong nangyari po sa aming mga mahal sa buhay na pinatay na lang po ng ganon-ganon na lang po na wala pong tamang proseso po ng pag-iimbestiga. Kaya po isang ano rin po na kahit alam po namin talaga sa aming kalooban na talagang siyempre natatakot po kami. Pero ngayon po ay nakaharap na po namin si Presidente Duterte at sana po ay hinihiling namin na talagang lumabas po ang buong katotohanan na para po magkaroon na ng katarungan ang lahat po ng mga pinaslang, hindi lang po ang aking anak, kundi po lahat po ng mga pinaslang nung panahon ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, yung madugong patayan po ng war on drugs. Maraming salamat.
Sige po, salamat din po. Ang huling magsasalita ay si Miss Mary Ann Domingo. May 2 minuto po kayo, ma'am.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Ako po yung asawa tsaka ina nun pinaslang noong September 16, 2016 po. Narito po ako na nagpapasalamat na mabigyan ng pagkakataon na makapagsalita. Sa totoo lang yung war on drugs, lubos kaming nawala ng dignidad. Inalisan kami ng dignidad ng mga may halos naging kontrolado po ang ginawa ng war on drugs. Yung time po noon, natutulog lang po kami na aming pamilya. Inakyat po kami ng mga kapulisan. Paulit-ulit ng mamakawang aking asawa at ang aking anak. Pagkatapos po noon, hinila po kami palabas. Sa pilitan kami hinila palabas. At makikita mo po doon na pati yung isang anak ko po ay binitbit sa van. Tapos po noon, bigla po kami may mga narinig na po to. Na po yung aking asawa at anak. Yung time na yun po, halos paulit-ulit po kami nagmamakaawa na mag-ina na makapasok po doon sa bahay na yun. Pero wala po kaming nagawa dahil marami pong mga pulis na yun. Halos pinatay po yung ilaw doon po sa iskinita namin. Pagkatapos po noon, nung nadala po sa hospital yung aking asawa at anak, may lumapit po na mga kapulisan. Hindi ko po alam na soko po yun, tsaka funerarial na po yun. Yung time na yun, hindi pa po napapaslang yung asawa at anak ko. Nandun na po yung mga polis na yun. At yung funerarial na yun na kala ko po mga polis po yung kasama po nila. Halos naging kontrolado po yung ginawa nila no na yung ginawa po nila yun ay hindi po tama. Kaya narito po kami na sana po mabigyan ng hustisya kami mga biktima.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Mrs.